ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
No! Ooh. No! We got stuck. I hate this show. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Roundtable. I had a whole thing where about cleaning and dogs and I was trapped behind my own face, like the typical egotistical artist that I am, where I'm just my face. Hi, Abby Thompson. Happy Tuesday, Roundtable. Nice to have you here all the way from the UK. Hi, Unicorn Gabby. The new Monster High movie's coming out in October, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have Ceci Balagot here to talk to you all about it. It's exciting. Thank you all for being. I am nutty, Christine. Thank you for being here as well. Welcome to the chaos. Welcome to another episode of the Roundtable. My name is Robert Bannon, and I'm so happy to have you join me here in my messy little show live from New Jersey. Thank you to everybody who watched last week. We had a great show last week. And I'm so excited to have you here for what is a great show. Anthony Kayvon of Love Victor is here. He steals the show as Rahim, and I love the show, and I can't give you any spoilers, but I disagree with what happened. So if you're a Love Victor fan, wait till you see this episode. Also, Ceci Balagot, as Unicorn Gabby said, the star of the new Monster High coming to Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus, is joining us here as well. So it's a special hour of artists, and I'm so happy to have you here. Next week, to confuse you, we're doing the show on Friday. So I hope you can join me on Friday. I'll have a lot of things to tell you about. I'm going to the Bublé concert on Thursday. I'm going to see the Hollywood Medium tomorrow. So I'll have a lot of stuff for the weekend review. Plus, I'm doing an event as well. So I hope you can join us on Friday. We have really great guests. Wendell Pierce, who has been in The Wire and Waiting to Exhale, and Delaney Williams, who's in The Wire with him, are coming to Broadway in Death of a Salesman. So it's the first time that Death of a Salesman is being done with a colorblind casting, and they'll be here next Friday. So join me. It'll be a really fun show for sure. Roundtablers makes me smile. It's so nutty. You all are so nuts. You're as nuts as me. That's why you're here. So, so it's not just me. Here is my weekend review. It was a fun week. I think it was a fun week. What did we do? Firstly, I did go see Aladdin, and I haven't seen Aladdin since it opened. I mean, I haven't seen Aladdin in so long. I was straight and married the last time I saw Aladdin. True. So now I went back, not straight or married. So I'm in a rare form today. See, Abby, you co-signed. So I saw Aladdin, and I really I had a wonderful time. It was great to take Vanessa and Sam. It was Sam's first show. I don't know if Vanessa, I don't think ever saw it or didn't remember. And we went and we sat in great seats, and we had a wonderful time. And in 2 weeks, Michael, who plays Aladdin, will be here. Michael will be here, as well as Lana Gordon, who plays Velma. So we'll be the best of Broadway favorites in 2 weeks. So I hope you join us, because he's wonderful. Michael is really great. They had a great time. Of course, we had, the merch of it all. And it's a really cute show, and it's fun. So if you come to New York and you haven't seen a good Disney moment, or you have kids who have never experienced theater before, make sure you check out Aladdin. Thanks to Disney on Broadway for hooking that up for us, as always. I appreciate them so much. Seeing a show for a Broadway show for the first time, seeing a kid watch theater for the first time, is really something magical and special. I saw my first show was Beauty and the Beast, 1993 or 94. So it's fun to see it through their eyes. Their eyes are, it's magic, on stage. What else did I do? I went whale watching. Wait, do you know that there are whales in like the Hudson River? Like right out of New York. So I was on the boat having my Celine Titanic, Jack moment. And I didn't think we were going to see anything. and then there was like a little poke of something, and a little. I mean, can you even like they're look at this.
What do you think they would feel like?
They're whales. You see whales? They're blowholes. Which in New Jersey, you call something a blowhole, it means something else. These are whales. There were 3 whales. We saw a total of 8 whales that trip. It was kind of magic. Like, whales, Abby. Whales, Christine. Whales. You could see New York, and there were whales. So if you come here, Sea Streak is what we went on, and it's wonderful. So you need yes, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing, Janelle. Mind-blowing. Darius Wheeler's watching from Detroit. Never let go, Darius. Never let go. Yeah, but Rose let poor Jack drown in the middle of the ocean and probably got eaten by a whale. So it was a really fun time. So that's my cousin Michelle who came up with this idea. I would have never even knew that was a thing or that even existed. What else do I have to show you? There's the this I took this morning. There's Cooper. There's Milo and Clarence. As you know, it's like quite the zoo here this summer as we have all of the animals here. And then so I know Clarence stole the show last week, so I had to give you a moment. And then last week I saw my good friend Robbie Roselle at Green Room 42. That's my music director too, Yas Fukuoka. That's Robbie Roselle. Robbie did a beautiful show. He's there every month at Green Room 42. I may be popping into one of them to perform with him. So if you want to see Robbie and you want to see me, Green Room 42 is the spot where all the hopping in. No offense to 54 and Birdland and all of those other great places, but if you want to see us at Green Room 42, come on down and see us at Green Room 42. Hi, Jenny. I owe you. I'm not all here this week. It's a little nutty. It's been very nutty, but you're on my list in my book, and I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and I love you. Robbie's next one. It's a hit week in review. All I have to show you is pictures of whales and puppies, and then magically everyone likes the show. Robbie's next shows, my show, which we're not even up to my shameless plug, but my show is October 22nd. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Robbie's show is going to be on Labor Day, and then there's one in October, and then I'm going to be with him hopefully in December because we're making a Christmas CD. Robbie's producing it. Yas Fukuoka is going to be the music director for it, and Robbie Roselle, RobbieRoselle.com. Go to RobbieRoselle.com, and it is November 14th is another one, and December hasn't been decided yet. But listen, if you're in New York on October 22nd to see me, you can stay till the 24th, Christine and Janelle, if you want. He's doing his show on the 24th. There you go. Christmas CD coming. Darius Wheeler's a big Christmas fan. It's bullying that I'm looking at being in Maryland next month rather than October. No, it's okay, Abby. Don't worry. I don't know yet. I haven't been formally invited. I've crashed myself so far, but I probably will be there on the 24th. And then if he does one in December, we're definitely going to promote the Christmas album. Let's talk about it while we're here. Let's just let's talk about what I've been watching. Have you been watching TV? Am I the only person that's like obsessed with television? Maybe because of I'm off from school, but I watched Uncoupled with Neil Patrick Harris and Jay Rodriguez and all of our fun friends, and I watched it in a day. I thought it was so much fun, and then I go on Netflix, and Never Have I Ever comes back, and being a school teacher, I love Never Have I Ever. I love the show. It's ridiculous and fun and sweet. So if you want to check out something to watch, those two are on Netflix. And then a big congratulations to my dear, dear friend, my brother, Griffin Matthews, on the premiere of She-Hulk last night. That's Mark Ruffalo. That's Renee Goldsberry. I call her Schnozberry. I don't know how to say her full name. Renee Elise Goldsberry. And there's Griff on the end in this Hulk green. Come on, Griffin Matthews, coming to Disney Plus soon. So I'm so excited for it. You watched Uncoupled too, Abby? I loved it. It was really fun. Love it. Darius, Uncoupled is good. Uncoupled is really good. It's so much fun. We may have to do a show about Uncoupled. I have to do it. Oh my gosh, Abby watched Below Deck with Hannah. That's Hannah and Dorinda Medley were on one of our early shows. Yes. And yes, Christine, you have to watch Uncoupled. It's good. It was really fun. So She-Hulk, Never Have I Ever, if you're into kids, because they're young. Uncoupled, definitely my recommendations for the week. All right, let's do a shameless plug.
Because I'm shameless.
Yeah. I can't wait till Bros opens. Bros is opening, Billy Eichner and Jay's in that as well. So thanks, Janelle. Yeah. We'll have Jay on the show. So my shameless plug. Well, I think I kind of did already. October 22nd, come see me at Green Room 42. There's a virtual option as well. You can click on the virtual option and see me from your living room. We're recording it for a live album. It'll be, tickets are already on sale. Some of you have already bought them. From the bottom of my heart, I say thank you. You can come see me. It's a really fun, heartwarming show about my life growing up with tributes to my parents and the music that I loved. So if you're an 80s baby like me, come on down to Green Room 42 and hear me tell my story. And thank you to everybody who's already checked out our new videos of the week. Over the pandemic, I got the chance to do an interview with the Dear Evan Hansen tour and Broadway cast at that time. That's Jordan Fisher of Disney, Hamilton, Dear Evan Hansen fame, Dancing with the Stars fame, Jessica Phillips, Broadway star, Christine Yonol, Broadway star, Noah Kaiserman, Broadway star. Everybody on here is star. If you missed this interview, we charged for it during the pandemic. It was part of our Broadway cast reunion series, and now it's free 99 on my YouTube page. So go down to Broadway cast reunion series, and you can see this chat with the people behind Dear Evan Hansen for free. Speaking of free chats, we also have the opportunity for you to watch our Roundtable talks of the week. Superstar Patrice Covington is there this week. She's the star of The Color Purple. She was in Genius Aretha with Cynthia Erivo playing Aretha's sister, and now she's a star of A League of Their Own, which is on Prime Video. It's a reboot of the movie. I sat down and talked to her. That's also available on the YouTube page for free. Check it out. Live in-person roundtable moments are coming soon. So there's a lot of stuff coming. If you're in the New York, New Jersey area, next week, I have the privilege of singing God Bless America at the Somerset Patriots, which is the Yankees minor league baseball team, on Tuesday, August 23rd, hence why we're not doing a show that day. It's Pride Night. The game is at 7:05. They have special tickets for $9.50. Thanks to the New Jersey Pride Chamber of Commerce and RWJ Barnabas Health. So you'll see me at the 7th inning stretch, do a little something. Come on out to Pride Night at TD Bank Ballpark in Somerset. I will be there, and I'm looking forward to recording it and filming it and doing a whole segment on it for you the following week here on the Roundtable. We have a lot of Roundtable shows coming. The more that you watch and the more you share and the more you support, the better the guests we get. We have some big guests coming soon that I can't wait to tell you about. If you want to support the show, you could always send a virtual tip. It's at @Bannon on Venmo. Any dollar helps. We take the money and we promote the show. The more promoting the show we do, the more views we get. Last week we had about 5,000, but the week before we had about 15,000 views. So it all depends on the promotion, the guests, and what's going on. So I hope you'll all join us. Am I done? Can I be done? I've talked a lot, right? Did I forget anything? I think we've covered it all. You're fully up to date on my whole entire life. I'll have a lot to say next week on Friday. Wendell Pierce, a star. All right. I love these next two guests. I love our guests today, like a lot. And I specifically reached out because I'm a fan of this show. I was a fan of its message, and I was a fan of everything that it had to say about art and about representation at that time. And I'm excited I'm excited that they agreed to be here and that we can do these, because a lot of kids watching and that are interested in students, there needs to be representation. Representation matters so much, truly. So did you watch? Well, Rahim is here. All right, everybody. Our first guest today is somebody who has been on, I don't know, every show that I've binge watched the past few years. I mean, his behavior on screen and his ability and choices and nuances as an actor are something that have literally stood out from the second I first saw him. I'm so happy to see him. Anthony Kayvon is here. You've been seeing him literally almost for, I don't know, over a decade, and you may not even know it's him. And we're going to talk about his wild journey to all of the wonderful shows he's been a part of. So Anthony, welcome.
Hi, wow. Thank you for such a awesome introduction. I'm so honored.
Truly, I have to say that during the pandemic, streaming television has become like everyone's best friend.
Yeah.
And getting to talk to people who we see and binge watch all of your work has been such a joy, because it's become literally our outlet for this crazy time. So yeah. Thank you. All the cool people are on streaming television now.
Thank you. I don't know about all the cool people. But...
Well, no, there are fine. We'll deal with some network and cable people, but I love my streaming shows because we get to be invested in and watch you all on one lazy weekend. So congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
I know that I was reading a little bit about you, and before we talk about all the current projects, if we don't mind going back, I was reading a little bit about your story. You were young when you decided that you wanted to enter this show business of show as an actor.
Yeah, I was.
And your parents are not show people. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what your mom did and your dad and the journey to get to your first kind of rodeo in television and film?
Yeah, so I come from a very your average like working class American family. Both my parents are immigrants, and growing up, like they instilled a lot of like work ethic in me from a young age, and I feel like they definitely had like that American dream of, going to college, getting a degree, and, getting a job and with benefits and all of the things. And that's what both of my parents did. My mom works in HR and my dad sells insurance for farmers. So they're very normal people. They're not connected to the industry whatsoever. None of my family is. And I remember as a kid, I was always like very performative and would, start singing and dancing and reciting lines from a movie and whatnot. And like no one really knew what to do with that. Like I, played soccer like a normal kid, but I was also like very dramatic and artistic. And one day my dad took me to the LA Auto Show because I've always had like a fascination with cars. And we were approached by this lady who was trying to sell her like acting studio basically, and she gave us the whole spiel like, I can make your child a star, da 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 da. My parents were like, yeah, okay, whatever. But the whole car ride home, I was like, please, I want to do this, like this is my dream. And they finally gave in. And I think my parents have this like mindset of they want to give their kids the lives that they didn't get to have, so they were very supportive of my dreams, and they were like, okay, let's give it a go. If this is what you want to do, you can see if you actually really like it or if this is just like, a phase. It turns out it was not a phase. They took me to this acting school, and I got my first agent at 5 years old. I started working in like the commercial and print world. So I was doing a lot of ads for, random corporations and commercials and stuff. And when I was around 8 years old, my mom, by the way, she was like my momager. Like she took time off of work, put a pause on her own career advancements to like help me with mine, which, not a lot of parents would do. So I was very fortunate that I got to have that kind of support at such a young age, because there's so many young actors who don't get to start until after high school. And, that's a lot of time wasted, not necessarily wasted, but you get a jump start on things when you start as a kid. So they saw potential in me, and they did everything that they could to make sure that I could be successful. And so when I was 8 years old, my mom decided, commercial and print is fun, but I think, Anthony could do more. And so we, the agency that I was with didn't really have any intention of like signing me across the board. They figured, oh, he's good with print and commercial, like he's not ready for TV and film yet. And my mom took a leap. She took a chance and dropped my agency at the time, which today is a pretty big agency. It's a big deal. And I didn't have any representation for a sec. And so she was submitting me on her own for things. And finally she found my manager, David, who for the longest time wouldn't take a meeting. He was just not interested. It was so funny. And finally we got a meeting, and I did a monologue for him, and he signed me, and he was like, okay, go down the street to Coast, my current agency, and sign with them. They'll sign you across the board. And that day I got a whole team, a manager, agents, and they sent me on an audition. I remember that day that I signed, they're like, okay, there's an audition for like an open call kind of thing for Lost, for a really small part. And their session ends in like an hour. Like, if you can make it, like, you can do it. And we were like, yeah, let's do this. So we get to I remember this specifically, my whole family in one car, like driving to this, like casting office, whatever. And we park and we get there. There's no one there. Like, we are the last people there. And they were like, oh, do you want to read? And we were like, yeah. And so I auditioned, and we drove back home to Orange County after that. And that night, David, my manager, calls, and he's like, I can't believe I'm telling you this already, but pack your bags. You're going to Hawaii. You're going to film for 2 weeks on Lost. So that was my first, like,
and there it is.
Oh my God. No, you do not have that right now.
Wait, there he is. Your mother at your 7, 8 years old decided, you're not going to sign my son across the board, and dropped your agency. Find this man. It's really kismet. I mean, it's really what's yours is yours. It's really that expression. And you book your first audition off the same day.
All within one day. Obviously, dropping the agent and finding the man, that took a few months probably, but that day I signed with my manager. He's like, I've got agents that would be interested in you, and they work really closely. Signed with those agents, and then that day I auditioned for Lost, and I booked it all in one day. And then I was on a plane, I think, the next day to Hawaii.
What a story. Listen, everyone that's watching, there's so much lesson in that about parents accepting the love and art that's in their children, and not trying and letting them be who they are. Secondly, he has like 30 IMDb credits, and he's like a baby still. Literally. Like, I was like, oh no, I'm ancient. You know what resonated with me about that story is that, for 1 second, to just tell you, I was a student who studied acting. My parents were very supportive. I went to Juilliard Prep for high school. I did all of this stuff and chickened out and left. And then it wasn't until 15 years later, going back to a conservatory and finishing my education to be an artist, because I was so afraid of fear and rejection. And there's so many people out there that are afraid to take the leap, and then they end up having so many regrets. So hearing your story is so empowering to that artist. There's so much to your story that's so empowering to many people. But as an artist out there, to find your team and to just tackle it is wow.
Yeah, there were many times where I wanted to give up and quit, because it's a brutal industry. It's really hard. It's honestly the reason why I'm in therapy today. It's not for the faint of heart. And as a kid, when you're experiencing a lot of rejection so much all the time, it was honestly every 100 no's there would be one yes. So it was very discouraging as a child to be in this industry and to be doing this. And I wanted to quit. I wanted to be a normal kid. I wanted to do all the things that my friends were doing, because I was still going to school at the time. So there were a lot of things that I had to sacrifice as a child. in order to have the career that I have today. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't. I'm so happy and glad and grateful that I live the life that I live now. But it's all because, like you said, because I had supportive parents who didn't let me quit, who said, you have talent and you have the drive, you can do this. They encouraged me. My team too, my manager, David, who's been my manager for 13, 14 years now, he's given me many a pep talk, because there were times where I did want to, hang up the towel and give up, because it's hard. It's not easy. But I feel like if you feel like you have the passion for something and you want to be creative, there is going to be someone out there who's going to say yes. You just have to find them. And it took me a while to find those people. I would get opportunities here and there. I would be able to do some acting here and there, but I never got the kinds of jobs that I felt like I was good enough for until recently. And that's, 15, 16 years into the game. So there are those cases where people try it and they're enormously successful right away. But for the vast majority of artists, it's not like that. And I feel like if you have a dream and you have the means to achieve it, don't give up, because one day you could be 56 years old and you finally reach your goal. You're not going to care about how long it took you to get there. You're just going to be happy that you did the work and that you waited.
100%. And I think that, and that leads to my follow-up question, which was perfect. I think that for a lot of people who are not actors, who see you on TV, if they tune into the shows that you're a regular cast member on, and don't understand kind of the hierarchy of television and auditions in television, you start off doing Lost, you do these one-off, everyone's guest stars and arcs and moments. Yeah. You've done there's a litany of shows that you have popped up on for an episode or two. And then everyone thinks you get a pilot or you get a series regular, and that it's automatically you're going to go become syndication money is coming into your mailbox. Can you tell us a little bit, for everyone that's an aspiring actor that's out there that doesn't understand this inside baseball talk about acting, what the journey has been for you to take on, the star role, the arc, and the journey to becoming now a regular on television series?
Yeah, I'm a strong believer in everything happens for a reason. That's something my dad always told me when I would get discouraged that I didn't get something, or I got really close to something that I thought would be my dream job. He would always tell me everything happens for a reason. It's not your time yet. And of course, when you're 15, 16, you don't understand that. And you're just like, you think the world's out to get you and everything's unfair and life is unfair. But looking back, it is really true, because I have done things. I have auditioned for shows where I went through the initial, audition, and then I got a callback, and then I would get a producer session, and then that's basically where you do a callback in front of the producers, and then they would be like, okay, great, let's do a chemistry read, let's do a work session. I would go through like sometimes 7, 8 rounds of auditions before I get to finally do a screen test. And when you screen test for something, you're not even guaranteed the job. You've already negotiated your contract. You see how much money you're going to get paid. You see how many episodes you're going to be in, what kind of everything. You see all of the terms of what this job would entail. But then you get to the screen test and there are 4 other guys screen testing for the same job. And at that point, it's not whether or not you're the best actor for the job. It's whether or not you look right on camera with your counterpart, how you sound, how tall you are, your hair's the same color as the female lead. These random little factors that you think have no importance are the factors that determine whether you get the job. So it is like winning the lottery a lot of times. It's sometimes thousands of people audition for the same job as you. So it's really, really difficult at times. And there have been times where I actually booked the pilot after going through all of those things. And I think this is the best script ever. This cast is amazing. It's on an amazing network. Film the pilot. 6 months later, get a call. Hey, the network passed. You're not going to series. And during that time, during that 6 months, you can't audition for other things.
Right.
It's like an option, basically. They have you on hold, where if the pilot were to go to series, they have you. There are no conflicts that way. But that kind of pilot model, it disadvantages the actor because they're on hold for something that is a 50-50 yes or no. They're putting all their eggs in one basket, and then that's 6 months lost. And that's happened to me twice. So yeah. But looking back, I think if that show were to go to series, I'd be in Canada for 8-9 months filming that show. I wouldn't be able to do anything else. And having been on Love Victor, I'm glad that those pilots didn't go to series, because I wouldn't have done this show, and I wouldn't have met the people that are in my life today, and I wouldn't have had the experiences that I've had today that I'm so grateful for. It would have been different. And it goes hand in hand with everything in your life, whether it be a job opportunity, a friend that you're no longer friends with, something random that happens. Everything happens for a reason. It all falls together. And this is the path that I chose. And I have to be accepting of the fact that it's not always, 9 times out of 10, not going to go your way. It's kind of crazy to think that I chose a lifestyle that's so volatile, but it's what I love to do. And like I said before, if I have the drive and the passion for something, and I have the talent, and I'm doing the work, one of these days it's going to work out. And like I said, like I did the guest stars, I did the one-liner co-stars, I had an arc on X, Y, and Z. I did all of the things that, prepared me for having a series regular part. I would think this is so unfair. I only get to do 2 episodes of this show when a year ago I auditioned for the lead. Like, so many times that has happened where I've had to work with people who got the job that I wanted. But all of those little parts, all of those guest stars, all of those co-stars, all of those recurring parts prepared me for the shows that I've been on today. Love Victor, my upcoming show, Exo Kitty. I'm more prepared than anyone that I've worked with before that's my age, because I've done the work and I have gotten that experience from a really young age. So now that I'm a series regular on these shows, I can handle it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to carry a series. It's long hours. It's draining. Like I was just in another country for 4 months. It's not easy. So for someone to go from nothing to stardom, and we see it all the time with young actors who can't handle it well, I'm really grateful that my path was the way that it was, because I don't know if I would be prepared to handle a show at 17 years old if that pilot got picked up. I don't know if I'd be able to live in another state at 18 years old, or in another country at 18 years old if that pilot got picked up. It could have messed me up. It could have tarnished my view of the industry. It could have destroyed my dream of not wanting to do this anymore.
Right.
So yeah, I do have a litany of those guest star roles, those little parts on these big shows, but it really did prepare me to handle a show like Love Victor or Exo Kitty, because I had the experience, I had the knowledge, I knew what I was doing, I knew what was expected of me. So yeah,
Well, I think that it's so powerful to everyone that's aspiring or doesn't understand the backstory that goes into the work. And what it stuck out to me is like being in acting school, when you said at a young age, like really accepting the craft. Like it's a craft, it's a job. It requires
it's a career. It's a lifestyle. And as a child, like that's really hard to grasp, because you just want to go out and play. You just want to stay up late and play video games. But no, you have to memorize your lines for your audition tomorrow. You can't go to the football game. Sorry, you have an audition. There's so many times in high school where like I couldn't go to dances or event, like school spirit kind of stuff, like because I had an audition that day. And I would drive myself when I got my license, and no one really understood, like, why can't Anthony hang out? I lost a lot of friends because they were like, oh, he's not available, or he prioritizes his career over his friends, like da 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 da. But excuse me, it's not children like don't normally have careers, so it's hard to like find that balance of maturity levels when my mindset is on a craft and a career. Another person's mindset my age would be like, oh, what party am I going to this weekend?
Right.
I didn't get to do those kinds of things, which sometimes I feel like I wish I could have. But like I said, I'm put in a place now where I don't have to worry about school. I don't have to, worry anymore because I put in the work at such a young age.
Well, I think what you're doing, the flip side, the payoff for us, thanks to your hard work, is that I know as somebody who teaches children in real life, I teach 5th grade when I'm not performing. And I've had so many students come out through the years, have come out to me and talked about how much they love a show like Love, Victor. I've had a lot of kids who want to be represented. They come to me as a out queer artist and say, like, my parents don't accept me. I don't know what to do. And then a show like Love, Victor comes along, or show like, well, they're too young for Generation, but I loved Generation. It was a brilliant show. You all killed that show. I was obsessed with that show.
Thank you. I had a very small part in it, but
it was very small, but I remember, and it really was a great representation for older kids. But Love, Victor, from the second Love, Simon came out, then for you to be in part of Love, Victor. But I have to say, the moment you show up in this series, your behavior, your choices as Rahim, the life you bring to this character is such a beautiful added color to already a beautiful show. Your nuance and the backstory that he is and all that you bring to it is really something special and fun to watch. I'm not giving any spoilers because I know people have not maybe watched the whole season. So I'm not trying to give anything away. And especially you guys, you left us with a giant cliffhanger in season 2. And now that so can you tell us a little bit about what it's been like to work with Michael and the cast of this show and the reaction to that?
It's honestly been a dream. I tell them when I can't put into words like how grateful I am to have had that experience, because I've worked on a lot of sets where people just don't get along, or there's a bad egg, or it's just not fun. And Love, Victor never felt like work. All of us were around the same age, and we all came from like similar backgrounds. This was like Michael's first big job. This was Bella's like first huge job. Like everyone kind of came from the same point in their lives, and I feel like the show came at a time where all of us needed it most, ironically, as we're putting on a show for people who need it more than we do. But I loved going to work every day. The cast was just amazing, and we all meshed so well together. And I feel like throughout the years, by season 3, all of us were at a place with our characters and ourselves where we were the most comfortable, and I feel like that showed in our performances. Filming that show was, every day felt like a party. Every day was just so much fun. And I tell them all the time, like, every job I have after this, I will constantly compare to Love, Victor. Just the cast, the crew, it was a dream experience. I literally cannot put into words like how happy looking back on those memories makes me feel.
Well, we loved and I loved watching it. It was wonderful to see it. Small, humble, weird brag about that show. Your scene, your karaoke, the famous karaoke scene of you singing Holy and that moment. My partner, who's also from Long Beach, is the entire choir. He did all 30 parts of that. He did.
You're kidding.
No, he was like, I got booked for Love, Victor. They gave me a day. I have to do 32 harmony parts and sound like a gospel choir. He sat home, did all 32 parts. And I'm like, have you seen the show? And he's like, I've never seen. I'm like, you have to watch the show. I watched the show. I binge watched the show. So that is all him. All of the parts
That's
are
crazy. Oh my God. Well, please tell him that he did an amazing job.
What a fun scene. I mean, that scene solidified the relationship we all had for Rahim and the whole show. Everyone watch the show. Make sure you watch the show. It's your summer. Binge watch season 1, 2, and 3. And then congratulations on XO Kitty. I know that it's coming, and I know it's to all the boys. It's going to be on Netflix. Here's the next moment we can see you all. Can you give us a little sneak peek about what the show's about?
I can't give away too much. I don't even know what I can say, but I'll keep it as vague as possible. XO Kitty is a spinoff series of the To All the Boys I Loved Before movie series, following Laura Jean Covey's younger sister, Kitty Song Covey. And she, I don't know what else I can say. But yeah, basically it's her love story and all the stuff that entails. And we filmed it in Korea, so you can guess where it takes place. it's gonna be, it's a half-hour dramedy kind of show. It's really fun, really cute, really uplifting and exciting and funny. I hope. I haven't seen it, but it seems like it.
I'm sure, and it's coming soon, and we could look for it. It's coming on Netflix. It already has a gigantic following, so I'm sure everybody will be excited to see it. Next time if I ever have the chance to chat, I want to talk about charity. He's such a charitable guy. He does so much. You can try to convince me to be a vegan too, and we'll talk more about. I'm sure that this is only the beginning to already a wonderful career. Thank you for sharing your artistry and your heart and your work and all the sacrifices and hard work you put out, because it gives a lot of joy to a lot of people. So thank you so much for your time.
I'm glad. That makes me really happy. Thank you so much. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you so much. Anthony Kayvon, quite the star. He's a star. What a great performer. I can't wait for him to segue into movies, and everything else that he has going for him is so great. I want to give a shout out to my friends Eric and Eliza Roberts, who have been in the news about an intruder coming to their house. Super scary, and I'm sending them a lot of love. I was texting with them earlier, and I just want everyone to be safe. So send some love to Eric and Eliza Roberts if you have the chance to. Yeah, isn't it great? Have you watched Love, Victor, Janelle? Because Janelle, you're a mom like that. You would sacrifice and do whatever you can for your kids. So if you haven't watched Love, Victor, watch it. It's really heartwarming, and he's fantastic in it. Speaking of fantastic, good, Christine. He is kind, smart, and he has a lot of work ahead of him. So definitely check that out. Yes, Janelle. Yes. I love it. Earlier last week, I had the chance to talk to Ceci Balagot. Ceci Balagot was in Girl Meets World. Ceci Balagot is the new star of Monster High. I'm old, so I'm not into the Monster High. There's Frankie Stein right there on the right-hand side. And it was a really interesting conversation on queer art, kids, Halloween, Nickelodeon. Take a peek. Okay, we've been watching our next performer for years on our television screen, and he's about to come to the Monster High. You're going to get to see a brand new production of a fun. I saw the trailer. Did you see the trailer? There's a music video. There's all sorts of wonderful work out there to get us ready and excited for this fall. Ceci Balagot is here. Welcome to the Roundtable.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Are you kidding? The opportunity to speak to you meant a lot, because who you are, what you are, and the work you do is simply beautiful. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy.
I am so excited about, I'm a Halloween baby, Ceci.
Oh, yes. Are you a Scorpio?
I am a full-blown Scorpio, 10/31 at 1:31 in the afternoon. So watch out. I'm ready.
Oh my gosh. Yes, this year I'm the most excited to see all of the Halloween costumes of all of the characters. I'm like pinching myself. I'm so excited because the cosplay people are going to go all out, and the kids are going to go all out. It's going to be amazing. I'm waiting for all of the comic book variants of the looks. I'm excited.
I'm ready for you to, Comic-Con, live it up. Yes, come on. Well, congrats on this role. Congrats on this movie. The trailer is out. The music video is out. The song is called Three of Us. Can you tell us a little bit about what is Monster High for us old people who may not be as familiar?
Yes, of course. Actually, I feel like mostly it is a lot of us people who are the most familiar with it. But let me explain. So Monster High is the same brand as Barbie dolls and Bratz dolls. So when we were kids, they came out in like 2010, I think. So when I was a little kid, the Monster High dolls came out, and they also came out with a TV show and lots of movies. And now they're being revamped in a sort of a new light, where Claudine Wolf, she's half human, half monster, and she's going to high school for the first time in a place that does not accept any humans whatsoever. So she's making some friends and people who can protect her secret, and Frankie Stein is one of those friends.
It looks like joy, and there's music.
Yes, and there's music and dancing. It's a whole musical, and also the music is so good. It's been stuck in my head since we got the demo tracks, and it just keeps playing in my head. I'm waiting for all of the songs to be on Spotify.
And I'm sure it's on its way for sure. It's going to air in 2 places. You can be, if you're a Paramount Plus subscriber, you'll have it on Paramount Plus and also on Nickelodeon. So make sure you can get your Paramount Plus app today and all of the fun content, or Nickelodeon on cable, which is what I grew up on. So now you're there. You have a movie that's going to be there.
Crazy.
And a whole new generation of people who will get to experience these characters.
Yeah, I'm the most excited about sharing this content with the new generation because we're breathing new life into an awesome thing that people already love. So it's like bringing back something awesome. And then B, I think in my mind, in my perspective at least, we're bringing Monster High into the 21st century by being a little bit more focused on, the characters are a little bit more focused on less on what they look like and how they're impressing people, and more focused on being themselves and being true to themselves, being authentic. And I think that message is going to connect with the younger kids more than just looking pretty, which is kind of how it was when I grew up.
Sure, I understand that. And I want to say to you, the representation in this movie, even in the trailer, is so important. We were just talking before we came on. I am a 5th grade teacher here in New Jersey, and I have 110 10-year-olds every single day. And representation and in genders, in sexuality, in race, is so important to be able to see and reflect. I can't tell you, Ceci, how many students have come to me with their own burden. So what did it mean that there's so much inclusivity in this project for you?
I mean, it means so much to me that Monster High is now this inclusive place for everybody. Because even when I was a kid, when I looked at the dolls, I didn't see that. When I looked at any dolls that, I kind of leaned towards, in a way, dolls as a kid because it was a complicated thing for me.
Me too.
Yeah, right, exactly. I think the queer community, dolls are this like very important flagship toy that when you were a kid, you knew that it made you different when you looked at it, no matter how it made you feel.
Absolutely.
And that's how I felt looking at the dolls. Like I didn't feel feminine enough to play with the certain characters. And I loved Frankie Stein. Frankie Stein was I almost changed my name to Frankie when I was a kid because I thought that name was like a little bit masculine. It could be a boy's name, it could be a girl's name. And I thought that was the most exciting thing about the toys. And now bringing that character into the queer space as a non-binary character is totally full circle for me because it represents something that kids are going to be able to identify with. That's so important to me because I did not have that when I was a kid.
Same. That's what's so beautiful about it is that there was no real role models that were in the mainstream when I was growing up as a queer child here. And I never was able to see that represented. So the work that you're doing is fun. It's musical. It's light. It's cute. It's going to be a great time, but it also has some real substance and meaning. You're going to make a lot of people feel seen and heard through this project. So congrats to that.
Thank you so much. It's my hope mostly that we reach parents as well and show them that your kids' friends can be trans. Your kids' friends can be non-binary, and it will not ruin your children.
No.
It's just another type of friend.
Absolutely.
It's just another friend. It's something to be happy about. Yeah.
I can't say it more. And so thank you for doing the work because Ceci, and I don't mean to be super deep, but a lot of students have come to me with parents who have a lot of questions and are unapproving. Do you have any words for the students that are watching out there? Are there any words of wisdom about just being your authentic self, finding your own community that you can share?
I think we hear this a lot, but it's because it's the most important one. Take your time. I know personally, and I feel like this is something that's really important because in the straight community, people don't really understand that your identity can change. And as you change and grow and understand yourself and your position in the world better. I've identified as a lesbian. I've identified as bisexual. I've identified as a girl, as non-binary, and now as transmasculine. So it takes a long time to finally find your place in the world. And I'm 21, but I know people who are I know people who are in their 30s and 40s.
Mhm.
We're just figuring it out, and that is okay too. And if you're 7 or you're 12 or you're 21 or you're 30 or you're 50, that is all the right time. So just take your own time and be honest with yourself. Be honest with the people that you feel safe being honest with around you, finding some community wherever that may be. And trust and believe that one day you'll have a clear answer when somebody asks you what you identify as.
Thank you for that. I need to hear that. I came out at 33. I had a whole other, I was married. I call it my straight years. So it takes a moment. My straight years.
And you're not the only person I know. That's just a part of the queer life.
Absolutely.
Growing and changing.
It's much more complex and there's all different variations. So it's not a cookie cutter situation. So thank you for that. And you're helping so many people with just those words alone are so powerful. Can you tell us a little bit about your artistic journey? When did you start acting? When did you know you wanted to be an artist? How did you survive this childhood in show business? What advice do you have to the artists out there?
I think the biggest thing for me has been family. I grew up in a very artistic family. My whole family, my mom is a classically trained singer. My dad plays a couple of instruments. He sings. He also dances. My older brother, we actually started doing auditions together. My older brother and I would trek out to LA and do auditions together. There's some commercial out there of us together, like playing real siblings somewhere on YouTube. And my little brother is a visual artist. He's a little prodigy. He's extremely talented. So I grew up around a lot of artsy, fartsy kind of stuff. We did theater and singing lessons and dance lessons. And I knew that I wanted to do acting the most, take acting the most seriously though, because my grandpa was actually in the industry. And I lived with my grandpa pretty much my whole life. And he was always talking about, his life in the industry and the way that studios came to be. He has all these like books about like Warner Brothers Studios and all of that like shows the history of them. It's just something that he was really interested in. And I got really interested in the more he talked about it and the more old movies that he showed me. And I thought, but like dancing and singing is really fun, but acting is something that I want to take seriously. So from then on, that's what I pursued. My parents were really supportive of it. But even now, as a 21-year-old, I bring my dad to set with me everywhere I go. And even to like PR events, like schmoozy kind of party stuff. And that's something I learned from, actually, I worked with Rainey Rodriguez when I was like 13. And at the time, she was like 21, I think. And her parents were there. And my dad was there. And they got to talking. And they just decided that like, with everything that the industry being kind of a strange place, people really wanting something from you all of the time and seeing you as a means.
Yeah.
Instead of just an end as within yourself, it's very helpful to have family around to keep you humble and to keep you protected and to make sure that you're staying true to yourself. You're not going off the rails. And I love my dad. We have so much fun together wherever we go. So it's like, it's a good time. I get to bring him as my plus one. But yeah, I mean, bringing your family around, it's the number one important thing to me.
That's so beautiful. What a nice advocate and ally you have on set. Especially, I don't think people realize the hours. I mean, you're a television star at a young age. The hours, it's a job. Everybody, it's a real job.
And I was actually going to high school full time while I was filming Girl Meets World. So it was a lot of back and forth, and I was doing like the school play at my school. So I would go film and then go to rehearsal at school. For it to be in a show. And my dad was, driving me both ways, making sure that I got my homework done, making sure I had my lines memorized, and also making sure I wasn't going crazy.
Yes. Wow.
I needed my parents there.
That is quite the plate to juggle. Well, you were talking about the school play. You're no stranger, as you were saying, to singing and to musical theater. I know that you're in the Dear Evan Hansen movie, and I know that you have experience singing and dancing and all of that. I know you're an actor, but is music, is there a place in your artistic world for more music and theater?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like a theater kid through and through. I don't know if you can tell by my energy, but I started musical theater when I was 5. And then I went to actually a school for musical theater. I went to a school called OSHA, Orange County School of the Arts, which I don't know if you're familiar with. It's a school that has like it's a kind of like a mini college.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there to study musical theater, and it was a 6-year program. So I went there from 7th grade to 12th grade, and they were sometimes 18-hour days of doing school in the morning and then going to really rigorous rehearsals afterwards. But when I tell you, literally nothing could have prepared me more for Monster High than going to that school. Literally nothing could have prepared me more, because the dance classes were mostly focused on picking up choreography as quick as you can. So learning the dances was like easy. Show me the move once and I got it. And then the music rehearsals were picking up songs as fast as you can and having audition songs ready right when you need them. So as soon as this came up and they asked me to sing a song, I was like, I opened my little booklet of all of my sheet music and I found the one and I said, okay, here we go. So it prepared me for the long hours and to pick things up really quickly. The training, a lot of people in LA aren't really trained, and that is okay, because acting is really instinctual kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But when you're doing acting, singing, and dancing at the same time, it takes stamina. And I learned that.
Well, you make it look easy. I mean, we've only seen the trailer and we've only seen the music video so far until it comes out, Monster High comes out on October 6th. So make sure you have it, mark it down, October 6th. It's the perfect family moment to sit around and get into the spirit of October and the fall and Halloween and all that fun stuff. But you do it gracefully and you make it look easy, which that's hard work. That's a lot of hard work.
Yes.
And you were saying focus on acting, and then the world just kind of throws some dancing and singing at you anyway. And then you get to do all three.
Mm-hmm.
What was
this worked?
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the rest of the cast? What was it like as a collaborative experience on set? So we could look for the fun. There's a lot of fun relationships in this. There's a lot of fun characters. Can you tell us a little bit about your time with your other castmates and the creative team?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I feel like the most fun days filming were days when we were all there. So one of the first days that we filmed was like a hallway scene where there's, all the, first day of school kind of vibes. So there's all the characters make their little vignette appearances to introduce them. And that was one of the most fun days because we all get to hang out together. I think you'll be able to tell on screen that we actually like each other.
That's the best. That chemistry where you're just...
It's one of those rare experiences. And I was making sure to tell everybody while we were there, I was like, this is a once in a lifetime, 1 in a million kind of experience where you come to set and you're like literally surrounded by your family, people that you like want to spend time with outside. And it was just like so fun, especially the three of us too, like me, Mia, and Naya, who play Draculaura and Claudine. We have such a good time together. We hang out outside of filming and rehearsals all the time now. I feel like I found like my new besties.
When you choose a project nowadays, we've talked to a lot of television stars and actors like yourself. The world, for a lot of aspiring actors, come on and watch the show. We just had a whole bunch of people at Hillman Production, mentors watching the show and stuff like that. What advice do you have you were talking about being in quarantine and in the pandemic, the self-tape? The most common question we get is, what do I do with the self-tape? So before I let you leave, can you sprinkle a little knowledge on the dreaded self-tape for us? What is your process?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like we all went through this thing where we realized that like we won't get that Zen time of like driving to LA and like getting in the moment and then waiting in the waiting room and having that like change the psychology of your brain before you go in. Like, That was such a part of my life, literally for 20 years. And then when it just stopped, I was like, what's happening? And then going into the room and talking with casting directors is so different, right? So you have to show your personality in the snippet of time that you get. So my recommendation is wear what you want to wear that shows off yourself. You know, that's something that I feel like we get a little nervous about in person, about wearing what you want to wear. So just wear what you want to wear. And then 2, you have all the time in the world to get the perfect take. So watch yourself. Even if you don't want to watch yourself, it'll change your acting like immensely if you just don't watch the tapes before you send them in. Please watch them. So you're going to watch the tape, and then you're going to see what you did, and then you're going to go back and you're going to try it again. There you go. And then in your slate, you got to have a little bit of personality because you're not showing everything. You're not seeing them in person. So show your personality in your slate, and also make sure that it's clean behind you. Don't have your laundry piled up behind you while you're doing your self-tape. I lose my mind when I see things like that. Do not have it, just like a clear background of some kind. No trash piled up, no soda cans, none of it.
I feel like you're talking to, have you seen my self-tapes? No. I
see other people's and I'm like, why is there laundry behind you?
I don't get it. I don't understand. But I think it's really important to say to watch them because it's hard. It's sometimes hard to watch yourself and you just want to do it and send it out. Yeah. But double check it. I think you are such a spirit. Your energy and your spirit is so beautiful. Your artistry, your work, you really are. I am so excited to see the magical moments that you're going to make in this business and in your own life. Really, I'm really looking forward to seeing the road ahead. Monster High, the movie, Skulls in Session, October 6th on Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus. Of course, people want to keep up with you. They can follow you on Instagram and make sure you check out the music video for the 3 of us. It's right now on YouTube along with the trailer for this, and I'm so excited. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for having me. You're so sweet. This is such a fun.
I appreciate you, and we're all going to have a bucket of popcorn and enjoy watching you.
So exciting.
October 6th. There you have it. Ceci Balagot, star. I really enjoyed talking to our guests today, Anthony Keyvan and Ceci Balagot. Even if you're not an artist, I hope you get something out of this, but especially to young artists out there, we continue to try to have art and artists represented across the genres, LGBTQIA+, different genders, races, nationalities. You know, we want to make sure that we're an inclusive show. I used to host a show during the beginning of the pandemic, and I was very, I had to fight the fight to get all inclusivity included. And that's why this show was created. If you have a guest suggestion, please make sure you send it to us. We have a lot of... Who is calling? Oh my goodness, it scared me half to death. We're supposed to be on Do Not Disturb. Whew, it was my job. It was my Board of Education calling me to tell me about registration, which is a robocall, and it's annoying. Yes, Ceci is a wonderful role model and a sweet soul, fascinating conversation. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Lattes, winner, chicken dinner. I'm going to the gym, so I'm going to go try to keep myself together so that I can do a good self-tape and book myself some work. Everybody, next week is a Friday. I'll have so much to tell you about because I'll have done so many things. If you want to help us out with the show, of course, you can virtually tip us at Bannon, and I will see you next Friday. Wendell Pierce is here. He's been in 168 different TV shows, and he's coming to Broadway for the first time. Friday. And then what can I tell you about the upcoming shows? Wendell Pierce is here, and Delaney Williams, plus a fireman from New York who was in September 11th and has turned his tragedy into comedy. He's a stand-up comic. He's going to be here to tell us all about that. The following week, we have Michael Milakel, who's playing Aladdin, and we have Lana Gordon. And then the week after that, the first week of September, listen to my regulars, Oba, and as some of you have seen Oba Babatunde has done shows with, I don't know, Jim Masters and everybody who's done other shows, Richard Skipper. He sat down with me for a 2-hour conversation. So we're going to have Oba on for an hour about Broadway and touring with Liza Minnelli, and an hour about all of his television. So it's going to be a bunch of stuff coming up. Plus Mark Summers is coming. Justin Guarini is coming. A lot of people are coming on, so don't miss it. I don't know what else to say, but thanks. Enjoy your week. Happy August. I will see you all next week. And don't forget, everybody, a saying that I've taken to heart, the best is yet to come. Till next time.